Controversy erupted over Kennedy speaking at Porcfest this year. Just this week, the New Hampshire Democratic Party got pretty upset at the idea of Bobby Kennedy speaking at a Libertarian gathering. So they sent him a pretty strongly worded letter. And his own party, the Democratic Party, said, "We don't want you talking at this Porcfest, this Libertarian Woodstock thing. It's just not appropriate. These people have guns and they believe in freedom. And my God, they're terrorists. They're going to overthrow the government and stuff. You can't be hanging out with these extremists." And it was a 2-page letter, and it just went on and on and on, chastising Robert Kennedy for choosing to speak to a bunch of libertarians. But he told them to go F themselves. And he said, "I'm doing Porcfest. I don't care." He said, "I like libertarians. Libertarians like me. We have a lot of things in common. We have a lot of common goals." And, I thought that was a beautiful thing to do, to just tell him to stuff it. He told his own party to get lost on this. And they really put a lot of pressure on Bobby to cancel this appearance at Porcfest. And I'm glad he's going to stick around and do it. And we hope that we can bring it to you. We have a crew. We got the 2 live crew boys on the ground. We got Don, we've got Quentin, both of them with cameras, but we're having some interesting issues getting internet service so that they can live stream for us this morning. Because this campsite is in the middle of the New Hampshire woods, middle of nowhere, New Hampshire. There's obviously very spotty internet up there. So Don and his assistant cameraman have been having some difficulty just getting an internet signal this morning. And just before the broadcast, Rick and I were trying to get them hooked up, and the signal kept freezing and buffering. It's just honestly terrible, terrible internet up there. So we're trying a couple of backup plans, a couple of workarounds. We're trying to work with their phone data. And it turns out the phone service is also very spotty up in the New Hampshire woods. So hopefully we'll be able to bring this to you. And I think that's the emergency that Rick is working on right now as we speak, trying to get our Maverick crew on the ground, just connected to some kind of internet out there in the middle of nowhere. We did have a word in to the organizers at Porcfest, asking them about internet service and do they have any backup plans. And of course, they're libertarians. They don't do organization and stuff. So nobody ever got back to us. So I'm taking a look at the morning headlines, and the Washington Post just put out a story, yet another hit piece on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. this morning. And this one is absolutely unreal. Look at the headline. Conspiracy theorists are pleased that RFK Jr. offers them an alternative to the GOP. This is in the Washington Post this morning. And just a couple of days ago, the New York Times ran that article with a headline that said, RFK Jr. is the conspiracy candidate. So now not only do they smear him with anti-vax every time they mention his name, now they're putting the conspiracy tag next to his name to make him sound batshit crazy, of course. And you knew they would do this. So I'm just going to read you a little bit of this Washington Post story. Americans who believe erroneous things about science, distrust and fear the government, and live in a world of conspiracy where every development has a sinister double meaning, but who are sick of having to vote Republican, I can't believe this, have been overjoyed by the advent of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s presidential campaign. Quote, "For too long, if I wanted a candidate who hated vaccines or believed something truly wacky about space lasers or Bigfoot."
What are you talking about? I just got back. You're talking about lasers and Bigfoot.
This is a piece in this morning's Washington Post, Rick. I am literally reading the Washington Post, the Washington Compost. The headline is Conspiracy Theorists Are Pleased That RFK Jr. Offers Them an Alternative to the GOP. And the general idea here is that, well, we all know Republicans are nuts, but if they're looking for somebody else to vote for instead of kooky Trump, they can vote for kooky RFK.
Well,
that's the point of this article. It's
they're talking about Bigfoot,
and they're talking about Bigfoot and space lasers and every crazy conspiracy theory they can cook up and throw into this piece of crap story this morning in the Washington Post. It's just unbelievable. It is my hope that this marks the end of the days when one party held a clear monopoly on fringe conspiracy theories and anti-vaccine sentiment. You knew that was coming. Finally, someone has a D after his name who is shouting nonsense, linking the number of trans youths to swimming through a soup of toxic chemicals. I could weep with joy, except that all my bodily secretions are being stolen by the government to keep Bill Gates' skin moist so he can fill us all with microchips. Dude, that's in the Washington Post.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. It goes on. You want some more?
Yeah, please. I'm going to get some footage of Bigfoot here.
This is crazy. It's just nice to have a candidate who shares my belief that 5G is rewriting our DNA, who isn't also completely opposed to gun control of any kind. Someone who believes, as I always have, that Americans should die of preventable disease, not from gun violence. You believe this? It just gets worse. Each paragraph gets worse than the paragraph before.
Here's some Bigfoot.
You got it?
Bigfoot footage.
All right.
Hello, Bigfoot. Are you there? Hello.
I think I see him.
It's
his shadow
behind
that tree. See, look, it's Bigfoot.
Uh-oh, lucky 13. Oh, Christmas Bigfoot.
Bigfoot's out the window. He's hiding in the Christmas tree. Yeah, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he believes all that crazy stuff.
Yeah. I haven't seen Bigfoot yet, though.
I swear this story is literally just made up. Like they give attributions to people saying crazy things with names like Luna Dune and Tiffany Oof and Ann Arbor. And this is in the Washington Post. And they're making up sources with made up names, phony names. It's like some CIA agent at Langley just cranking this stuff out on the computer, and they printed it on the Washington Post.
Here's Don.
Good to go. So it looks like, how are you? I'm at the site where the speech is going to be. There's another long line like there was at St. Anselm's the other night. We can't get in yet. Not sure if they're streaming. I know they're going to be airing it on the radio. What was the radio station? 88.7 in New Hampshire. 87.7. What's the call letters? Okay, look, Google it in New Hampshire, and you might be able to get the audio stream.
All right.
And we're gonna walk around with ENG equipment and interview people walking around the site here, and then we'll send that to you in a little while. When the speech is over, we'll come on and we'll talk.
Hey, Don.
Yeah.
There's an easier way to do this.
Sure. Tell me what.
Walk up to the stage
and point your phone at the podium.
Point your phone at the podium.
You can't get in. It's overflow.
They can't get you in?
Just like I said, just tell them you're a sovereign citizen. Their rules don't apply.
Look, you're talking to somebody that laid out $150 for press credentials. I know how to push it. Okay, I can't get in.
Okay. No issues. It's okay.
I'm just saying. I can't get in. Believe me, if I could get in, I'd be in there.
I appreciate that. No issues. That's life at Porcfest.
Yeah. So that's right. So I would say I'll go back to my car, see if I can dig up the audio stream for you. I'll send you the link to it.
It's okay. You don't need to do that, Don. I'll find it.
Okay,
I will be able to find it.
Very good. And then we'll see what we can pick up, and I'll have some stuff to you in a while.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye, guys.
Okay.
I wonder, will he even be able to upload if he has no internet out there in the woods?
Well, he's got to have something because he's got his phone working. So there's some sort of a feed out with his phone.
Yeah, it's, freezing up and lagging, but he does have some spotty service out there.
Anyway, no issues. I'm going to find that audio feed. I've been looking. Somebody out there's got a phone that they're going to point at the podium.
You would think, right? Somebody out there in the crowd has a phone. Maybe they'll call Maverick News and let us take their live stream. Hit us up. We'll send you a StreamYard link and you can be a freedom reporter. Just hold up your phone and boom, you're an instant reporter.
Yeah, so I'm just going to find this radio station and we're going to pick up the feed.
And while you look for that, I'm going to read you some more of this crazy stuff in the Washington Post.
It's more like the National Enquirer than
it is the National Enquirer. The National Enquirer does more responsible journalism than this. I mean, this is so bad. Okay, this paragraph says, "Yay!" added Stephanie Nagolis, and she believes that Lyndon Johnson was actually a series of spiders who operated a human body using Martian technology that the government is keeping from us. She says, "I have long lived in a world of conspiracy where sinister puppet masters are pulling the strings and children are being mailed around the world in Wayfair furniture. For too long, I felt like my only option was to vote for Republicans. But I found off-putting how they're so busy trying to ban books and keep history out of schools. Now, finally, there's somebody who believes in just the creepy things I do believe and not additional creepy things I don't believe. Thanks, RFK Jr." I mean, this is literally something that a 12-year-old kid probably made up and posted on Facebook, and then the Washington Post put it in a story. Who wrote that? You can tell it's some, loony leftist who's just got Trump derangement syndrome, Republican derangement syndrome, Libertarian derangement syndrome, and yes, Kennedy derangement syndrome. I think a new syndrome has been created now. We've got Kennedy derangement syndrome. This is actually, I'm not kidding. This is the Washington Post.
Do you remember Weekly World News?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, somewhere around here I have a couple of like collector's editions. I have the very last printed issue of that around here somewhere.
When did they finally stop publishing?
Oh, I don't remember now because it's a long time since I acquired that. But
yeah, they had all the good UFO stories. And
maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They had Bat Boy on there all the time. Bat Boy. You remember Bat Boy?
I do. Oh my God.
Sort of a cross between Eddie Munster and an actual bat or something.
This is unbelievable. Bat Boy.
Yeah, and there it is there.
I want to bring back polio, said Dave Tumble, because I invested very heavily in those old-timey braces that FDR used to wear before realizing that vaccines had wiped it out. And now I am really up a creek unless polio comes back right away. RFK Jr. is my only hope.
How did we get on this? We're supposed to be covering a serious presidential campaign. And because of the Washington Post, we've been taken down this crazy road. And now I'm showing pictures of Bat Boy on the cover of the old Weekly World News.
Because the Washington Post can't do serious coverage of a serious presidential candidate. This is their idea of covering his campaign, is writing crap like this. Now you know why we call it the Washington Compost, folks. This is literally for lining your bird cage or your dog's cage. Horrible. Look, it's Fat Boy. That child escapes.
What would happen? I wonder what it
reminds me of Anthony Fauci.
What did Bat Boy's mother say when she gave birth to that? Oh well, she was
screaming like that. Ah!
Yeah.
Ah!
Probably not. She was probably a longtime member of the Church of Satan.
Oh boy.
And that was the result. Demon child.
He is a demon child.
Jeez.
Look at that.
Oh my goodness. It's like only 10:29 this morning. Look at what we're doing. Oh, this is a serious news channel too, folks.
That's right. And we're serious because we're reading a serious newspaper to you this morning, like the Washington Post.
Oh,
hey, we're pretty awful, but you got to take us just a little bit more seriously than the Washington Post.
That's right.
Because this is in the Washington Post today.
But look at, I mean, there is so much nutty stuff out there right now. It's like, I can't, we all this talk about the UFOs too. I mean, it's just like, it sounds serious. Maybe it is serious, but I can't believe that we're
having this conversation. Yeah.
Bigfoot, Bat Boy, UFOs,
and Elvis.
I
heard Elvis was at Porcfest.
Probably is.
Somebody spotted him.
Well, if he was going to show up someplace, it would be at Porcfest.
You betcha. They got the best, peanut butter and fried banana sandwiches anywhere.
I bet you they do.
You know they do.
Yeah.
With bacon. You got to have the bacon on the peanut butter and banana fried jelly sandwich.
Does anyone get out of Porcfest alive after that?
And they come back for more next year. They come back every year for more. So you know what this whole thing is about, right? It's the Free State Project. The Free State Project in New Hampshire has had this thing going for 20 years, I guess, where they're getting libertarians to move up to New Hampshire, where they want to establish a libertarian paradise, like a sovereign citizen state, the Free State of New Hampshire. And some say they want to actually secede from the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they actually want to do that, but the idea is to build a libertarian paradise.
Well, that's what I said. These guys have to team up with these guys from Alberta, right, and then get the guys from Quebec together, and they can all,
they're doing something like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, aren't they supposed to be building some utopia out on the land? They got some land, and that's what I heard.
They've got all kinds of different. Depends on which subgroup you speak to from which subgroup, because there's all these subgroups of subgroups, and
right. Everybody has a different plan.
Yes, that's right. Because they're all individuals. So it's like, I'm not doing your plan. I'm doing my plan.
Don't tell me what to do.
That's right.
I'm a libertarian. Screw you.
And I'm all about individualism anyway. So I'm kind of like, yeah, okay.
Just whatever. Do your own thing,
that's
man.
Right. That's right.
Just do your own thing, man. See, I even wore my hippie colors today because it's like the, libertarian Woodstock.
Yeah.
I wore my hippie clothes today.
Yeah.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.